where we like
Never played it.
chat, you know, like it's kind of our bonding thing, you know, they post theirs.
Live? Okay. I called to order the meeting of the Southeast Polk School Board. This is June 16th, 2022 at 5:30 p.m. Karen, can I get roll call, please?
Chad,
Here.
Lori,
Here.
Bridget,
Here.
Rick, Whitney,
Here.
Brett,
Here.
Tom,
Here. All right, we have a quorum. Letter B, agenda adoption. Dr. Hlepnick, are there any changes to the agenda?
There are not.
All right. Can I get a motion?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Karen?
Lori,
Yes.
Bridget,
Yes.
Whitney,
Yes.
Brett,
Yes.
Tom.
Yeah.
Chad,
Yep. All right, district vision and mission. Would anyone like to read that tonight?
I can do it.
Thank you.
Here at Southeast Polk, we learn, lead, live, success for college, career, and civic life, engage all students in learning a challenging curriculum delivered through quality instruction.
Thank you. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. On to public comments. I'll just read our open forum guidelines here. The board recognizes the value of public observation and hearing from individuals on school district matters. It is also important for the board to be able to conduct its meeting in an orderly and efficient manner free from outside interference. Citizens wishing to address the board will need to complete a public comments card prior to the meeting and give it to the superintendent. The public comments cards are located on a table at the entrance of the meeting. Speakers will normally be limited to 3 minutes for an individual and 5 minutes for an individual that is representing a group. However, these time limits may be modified if pressure of business or other circumstances dictate. The board president will recognize individuals to make their comments at the appropriate time during public comment. When addressing the board, state your name and group name if applicable, address, city, and the agenda item to be addressed. During public comments, the role of the board is to listen. Therefore, board members will only receive comments and will not respond to questions or otherwise engage in discussion with speakers. Speakers who make comments are responsible for their own statements and may be subject to legal action for those which are threatening or defamatory in nature. It is expected that speakers will address the board and each other with civility. Aside from the recognized speakers during public comment, the role of the public is limited to observing the proceedings of the board. Public observation does not include participation. The board has a significant interest in maintaining the decorum of its meetings. Any individual who does not abide by these rules or otherwise disrupts the meeting may be asked to leave and or referred to law enforcement. All right. So up first, we have Sarah Ashby. Okay. Nicole Pike and Polly Antonelli.
My name is Nicole Pike and I'm representing LGBTQ family and students and supporters in the district. My pronouns are she, her, hers. My oldest will be a freshman this fall and I have a 4-year-old that I hope to be a future RAM as well. Can I get a quick show of hands of any fellow Ted Lasso fans here tonight? Anyone on the board? Anyone? Nobody? Oh gosh, I hope this still holds weight then. I am not a sports girl in any way, shape, or form. I had zero interest in watching a show about football, but friends insisted, so I finally gave in, and I fell in love with everything about the show and Ted and the characters. Because the show is about so much more than sports or football. It's about the people, the heart that goes into the game. It's about individuals coming together and everyone rooting for something so much bigger than all of us. One of my favorite quotes from Ted Lasso, which is actually that of poet Walt Whitman, is "Be curious, not judgmental." Ironic considering how judgmental and dismissive I was going into it, not being a sports girl, but curiosity led me to this incredible story and to these characters with their unique backgrounds, experiences, and approaches to living life and facing adversity. We moved to Altoona specifically to be part of Southeast Polk Schools because it seemed like an eclectic, warm, welcoming community where at bare minimum, folks were able to practice tolerance in the face of differences. We have friends here from all backgrounds, from all political and religious spectrums, and are proud of that because that's how it should be. That's what makes up a community. Altoona seemed curious, not judgmental. It seemed like one big AFC Richmond team, and we were going to win that championship game of life by planting our roots here with you all and raising a happy, healthy family. Go Rams. But that is not the experience we are getting to provide our daughter, who deserves better than being harassed, bullied, and even assaulted. She isn't just being teased like you and I were about her clothes or her hair. She's being told to kill herself, threatened to have her skull bashed in, told she's going to burn in hell. Intolerance and judgment leads students and parents alike, and that is not Ram Nation. That's not the Ram Nation I thought we were. We no longer feel safe here at school or in the community. It's frankly toxic, and that is awful to say out loud. I come to everyone here today who is listening as members of the team that is Southeast Polk, and I implore you to be team players, to be like Ted, to do as Walt said, to be curious and not judgmental, both in real time and on social media. We each play a critical role in whether we win or lose here. We are a team. We are each responsible for one another. And we each deserve to feel safe, to feel loved, and to be given the opportunity to succeed. More importantly, I should be able to trust.
Nicole, we're at time. If you want to just finish your thought.
Absolutely. Did I have 5 minutes or 3?
3.
I'm supporting a group and not an individual. Do I get 5? Since there's more than one. I thought
Okay.
that was-
Grouping. Okay.
Is that okay?
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you. More importantly, I should be able to trust and expect each and every one of you, and every one of you on the board, and everyone listening, and everyone in this community to adhere to and model what is outlined in the board's policies, the district's code of ethics, and the oath of office each of you took when taking this on. You are supposed to serve as people of goodwill working for the common good, which does not include spreading or inciting homophobic, transphobic, or other forms of hate speech and discrimination against our students or community members. I'm woefully going to be sending a formal letter to the board, to the superintendent, to evaluate the conduct of our current board members in a last-ditch, desperate effort for change. If I don't feel something improves, if we continue to feel unwelcome and unsafe in our own community, I will extend that to members of the Iowa Board of Education and Iowa Civil Rights Commission. Because I believe in you. I believe in you. I believe in us. We all deserve better. And I really want my youngest, my 4-year-old Maisie, to be a Ram and to experience the Southeast Polk that I know we can be. Please, each and every one of you, be curious, not judgmental. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Jenny Cadle. If you could please state your name and address.
You already said my name.
Yeah, well, repeat it.
Jenny Cadle, 1128 32nd Street Southeast over here in Altoona. Sorry, it's casual Thursday at work, so I'm dressed pretty casual today. Sorry, I didn't have time to run home. I just wanted to come and offer some support for any members of our community that feel that they aren't supported as the story that was told here, to let them know that there are people out there that do support you. There are individuals out there that care about you and you matter. And then I wanted to offer one more piece of advice for as board members, you guys are public figures. Every single one of you is. And so that you've kind of given up your right to privacy. So please remember, everything you guys do at all times is now in the public eye and does affect people in a public way. Okay, that is something that I've had to learn to myself. My wife has to remind me every day, and I'm not even in office yet. I'm just campaigning. It's a reminder I have to get all the time. I just want to give you guys the reminder too, that everything on social media, everything in real life, everything you guys do is in public eye and is judged that way. So please keep that in mind. And everybody in this community looks up to you guys on how to act and how to respond. So that's all I wanted. Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Thank you. All right, Sarah Ashby. Is Sarah here? Please state your name and address.
My name is Sarah Ashby, and my address is 541 35th Street in Des Moines. I attended Southeast Polk from kindergarten through graduation, and I barely made it through junior high. Not because I wasn't smart, but because I was bullied so badly that some days I thought I'd be better off dead. She's the reason I'm here. There's one particular incident that I can't ever forget. It was at the start of lunch period, and a bully named Heather threw a big glob of sour cream in my hair. Kids started laughing, and the teachers didn't really do anything. So I ran to the bathroom, where I sat bawling on the floor until about an hour later, an adult from the school found me. I was taken to the counselor's office, where I was told that bullying was just a part of junior high and that I should, find more friends. That was it. I know there's student privacy laws, but I don't think Heather was punished to my knowledge. And I was just kind of expected to go back to class as if, nothing had happened. And I didn't even have it as bad as some of the other girls in my class. To say that Southeast Polk has a bullying problem is an understatement. I've heard so many stories, including Nicole's, of past and current students who've experienced unthinkable abuse while in school. And there's always one thing in common. That's the inaction of the Southeast Polk administration to hold the bullies accountable for their actions. And that's in my opinion and in the words of others that I've heard. Just last year, Southeast Polk made headlines because of what many would describe as a hate crime that was targeted towards an LGBTQ student. Bullying and intolerance is so far ingrained. Bullying and intolerance is so far ingrained in our district that it's even reached this very board. Posting a photo of a trans woman that says, quote, "That dude looks like a lady." Calling on fellow conservative officials to speak up against boys coming to school wearing dresses. Changing a profile photo at the start of Pride Month to say that pride is a sin. That doesn't seem to align with the Southeast Polk Code of Conduct. And LGBTQ students are already 12 times more likely to die by suicide than straight cisgender kids. And as a district that already has a history of students taking their own lives, I would hope that you guys would want to do everything in your power to prevent further tragedies. That is why I'll be suggesting that you as a board create and vote on a resolution stating that while serving, each of you acknowledges that your words and actions, both in public and social media, are a direct reflection of the district, and that you will refrain from making degrading and intolerant comments about or acting in any way that endangers the rights and safety of the LGBTQ students and staff that you serve. You all have every right to hold whatever personal beliefs you choose, but as a member of a nonpartisan public school board, you took an oath and are legally obligated to leave your biases at the door. Bullying and hateful comments shouldn't be tolerated at any level. I don't think that expecting accountability, honor, and human decency from the members of a public school board is unreasonable or uncalled for. Thank you.
Great. That ends our public comment section of the meeting. Onto the consent agenda. Can I get a motion, please?
Motion to approve.
Second. We're good. Bridget. You got it.
Any questions on the consent agenda? All right, Karen?
Bridget,
Yes.
Whitney,
Yes.
Brett,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Chad,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
All right. I forgot to mention, we have our new student rep with us today, Lily Brindley. Is that correct?
Yes.
Well, welcome. We're excited to have you with us over the next year. All right, on to old new business. Confirmation of next meeting. Can I get a motion, please? Or I guess the next meeting is next month, isn't it?
July 14th.
14th of July. Okay,
Motion to approve the July 14th.
Second.
thank you. Karen?
Whitney,
Yes.
Brett,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Chad,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Bridget,
Yes.
All right, 2022, 2023 handbooks.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, any discussion on this?
I had a few comments about the handbook, but I had emailed Dirk and he had responded back, but there is one section in the junior high handbook where it states that it doesn't have any consequences in that section of it, and I was curious if we were gonna add that to it, if that was done or not.
I think what you sent to me was the elementary electronic
It was
device
all of
one.
them. I was just numbering them with each one of them. Was it the elementary
Yeah.
that?
Right, and I think
Mhm.
what we can do is request that gets added. I think that's,
Okay.
I agree, there needs to be something there.
Right.
And it's digital, so something we can ask them to add and bring it back.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? Okay. Karen?
Brett,
Yes.
Tom,
No.
Chad,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Bridget,
Yes.
Whitney,
No.
Letter C, Food and Nutrition Dairy Award 2022, 2023.
Motion to approve.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Any questions about the contract here? Looks like it's just an additional year on the existing contract we have with Anderson Erickson Dairy.
I did have a question. We keep extending the same contract. Are they ever gonna renegotiate the contract with different prices or anything?
Mr. McCom?
Good evening, Board. Thank you for the question. They do renegotiate. They're part of a buying group of a few other metro area schools.
Right.
In this particular issue, this is the final year of this contract. It's kind of
Okay.
a weird thing. It's a non-competitive contract due to the COVID times. It's been extended. But Ms. Ahern, our director, also went out to see what quotes were out there, and A and E was the better plan out there, the better pricing out there.
Okay, but so next year we might go with them again when we go out for bid? Or-
Yeah, we'll go out, the group
Okay.
will get together and they'll do their formal RFP process, and A and E will probably be part of that group as well as far as who bids, and they may very well be the winning bid.
Okay, thank you.
Better tasting milk anyway.
It is good, yeah.
I'll pay 2 cents more for a.
This is chocolate milk.
All right. Any other questions? No one? Okay. Karen?
Tom,
Yes.
Chad,
Yes.
Lori,
yes,
Bridget,
Yes.
Whitney,
Yes,
Brett,
Yes.
All right, letter D, Food Nutrition Bread Award 2022-2023.
Motion.
I'm sorry.
motion to approve.
You have a second?
Sure, I'll second it.
This is another 1-year extension.
I'm assuming this is the same thing where it's been extended till COVID and
This one's actually the second of a 4-year, 1-year extension possibility. So there'd be
so
2
we
more
have 2 more
years
years of extending.
if we'd want to. Yes.
Thank you.
Any other commentary on bread or?
Well,
Other than the old, once this contract's up, maybe bimbo bread will come back. So,
my fingers are crossed.
were you setting me up for that one? Yeah, you just give me that twinkle in the eye, like,
Yeah.
go ahead and say it. Go ahead and-
Get it out.
Mr. Puffett is smiling somewhere.
He is, if he's listening.
You just like to make the motion.
Yeah, but unfortunately, well, I shouldn't say unfortunately, Pano Gold got this bid, but.
And a gold.
Pano-
All right, Karen?
Chad,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes,
Bridget,
Yes.
Whitney,
Yes,
Brett,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
All right, letter E, Food and Nutrition Prime Vendor Award 2022-2023.
I'll move to approve.
second.
Okay. Questions on this one? Not just looking at you.
it's all right. Go ahead. No, I
Um,
am. I mean, I like the company, so I don't have any questions.
Karen?
Lori,
Yes,
Bridget,
Yes.
Whitney,
Yes,
Brett,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Chad,
Yes. Letter F, Food and Nutrition Preventative Maintenance 2022-2023.
motion to approve.
Second.
Karen?
Bridget,
Yes.
Whitney,
yes,
Brett,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Chad,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes,
All right. Letter G, Interfund Transfer Food and Nutrition Fund to General Fund.
motion to approve.
For a second.
Second.
All right, Mr. McCom?
Yes, this is something that we do every year. There are certain expenditures that are incurred within the food service program, but we can't charge that particular fund during the year. So we charge to our general fund. We pocket and silo those costs, and we charge that back to the food service fund. In the end, it's an interfund transfer. So the indirect cost rate this year is 12.59% relative and compared to last year at 12.88%. Our maximum interfund transfer is going to be just over $600,000. I anticipate us being much less than that this year based on administrative costs. This is an annual board action that needs to take place because it is an interfund transfer.
the random question.
Yes.
Why? Like, why can't we do it during the year? Is there some
There are
logic?
certain, yeah, so from a regulation, federal regulation standpoint, there are certain things that we can't have within our food service program, like the administration of the program. So the administration of the program is encoded to our general fund pockets those costs, and then we get those taken out by general.
So then we
food
take the
service.
money from the food account and we pay the general fund back that we paid off to the
Correct.
administration.
Substance is the same, it's just the form of how we get there.
It's interesting. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Karen?
Whitney,
Yes,
Brett,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Chad,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes,
Bridget,
Yes.
All right, that concludes our business portion of the meeting. On to topics for discussion. Superintendent report, Dr. Lutnick.
Thank you. Since our last meeting, we've had our graduation ceremony. Right at 450 students graduated in the class of 2022 at the Knapp Center on the Drake campus. As always, it was a highlight of the year. Summer activities are off and running, and hard to believe that next week they will pass the mid-season point already. Time flies. Board building visit schedule, I pushed that out a couple weeks ago. I just wanted to say that I'm looking forward to visiting all of the buildings next year. Wanted to make sure that you notice we are looking at changing that format a little bit, pushing it a little bit later in the day to mid-morning or late afternoon. It might help some work schedules, maybe it won't. We can change and tweak as needed, but really having the focus be on getting in classrooms and observing the learning process. So excited about that for next year. Registration continues to move on. We're nearing 80% completed of our returning families. We also know we always have new families dropping in as well. So that's moving along. And I did want to say a few words about school safety. It's not on the actual report that I have there, but I think it's certainly worthwhile here. As we know, it's always a priority for us. And with the Uvalde shooting back on the forefront nationally and locally. So I wanted to share a few things. Earlier in the year, we worked with some safety consultants to evaluate our secondary campus, and we are in the process right now of planning and implementing our recommendations from that group. We're also working with local law enforcement on school safety and security with the United States Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. It's a new tool. Actually, you have a meeting next week with Chief Stallman, who's here in the room with us, and Chief Pisano from Pleasant Hill to look at implementing that, which I'll explain a little bit more at a later date. Also have a meeting next week on radio upgrades to make sure that we have direct radio access between all parts of our buildings and law enforcement. Have a meeting with Altoona, Polk County, several different law enforcement agencies to discuss that early next week on that front. This week, I know everyone has seen that Iowa announced the use of federal COVID stimulus money for improving school safety to the tune of $100 million, which is outstanding. And some of the specifics there, grants for each school building, $50,000 per school building. The way it's set up will be a reimbursement, kind of similar to the other stimulus money. Safety assessments, which I just was talking about, radios, which I was just talking about, software, kind of like tipware, and also monitoring social media and things like that to check for things, threats, mapping technology for first responders. And then the School Safety Bureau that was created a few years ago will now be funded, so it will be up and running. So that's really good news for all schools in the state of Iowa. Wanted to share that we are hosting 2 different training sessions of mental health first aid in the district this week at both Clay and Spring Creek. Yes, so one's more focused toward elementary staff, the other towards secondary staff. And then kind of finish here with, we will have a special meeting after our regular July 14th meeting. It'll be a closed session where we'll talk about all these things that I just threw at you in a really short period of time in much more detail, and the things that we have in the works, things that we're planning, and where we're headed with that. You'll also have a chance to review our district safety plan. We'll push that out. We'll give you some times in the weeks leading up to that meeting, and then we can kind of work schedule wise, however you may, if you want to come in and take a look at that, so that that can be part of the discussion as well on the 14th. Questions? I feel like I just threw a lot at you.
Rick and I talked a little bit of graduation, but are we, like, we did away with like the whole names up on the screen, I guess, which was kind of a little bit of a disappointment. So I didn't know if we're going to try to bring that back maybe if we come back to like our own place maybe next year, or
Sure, I
you know
can.
what I mean? Because usually the names kind of were on the big screens. That's kind of, they were walking across. So it's just something we noticed, I guess, when we were going through.
Okay. I
So,
can definitely share that with the high school.
okay, because I know it kind of controls the cadence a little, but we'll have to kind of play with that
I
a little
believe
bit.
they shared with us, they tried to get up there and there was a technology glitch that wouldn't allow it to.
Yeah, because they were scanning all of them. They just weren't going up
Yeah.
there.
So I think the intent was to have them there. There were some technology connections that didn't work. That's all I.
Yeah,
We
dang.
did,
Yeah,
we
I'll
did
talk
ask
with
them
Steve and
about
the
that.
Counselors.
Okay.
Sorry, John.
Dang Drake. And then and then I know if you wanted to explain to like maybe some of these guys how, like with our sophomore graduates, because that was kind of like an unprecedented thing, kind of like how that came about, or I
Sure.
guess how that was.
Yeah, there were two very unique situations. I don't want to go into a great detail. They're the things that would not be normal. I'll just say that. Family situations where in one case it was an IEP team along with family and school decision and all in agreement for many reasons. And in the other case, the recommendation was to not do that, but the family said we're going to do it anyway, and the student met the graduation requirements by taking classes outside of the district, and went ahead and moved forward with it that way. So those are things that I don't think, especially in people were super comfortable with. The second scenario, like I said, the recommendation was against that, but the family was wanting to do that. So went ahead and did that on the outside of the district, I guess, as far as collecting credits. So I don't think it's something that would happen often. In fact, it hasn't, and I don't anticipate that it would. But that was the scenario this year.
And with like because we use credit recovery packets. So is that something that we pay like DMAC for? Do you know? Or is that like something that we have?
The student and family worked on their own with the outside, with DMAC.
I mean, but like we do credit recovery, right? And are those packets, like when we do credit recovery with students, is that something that's coordinated through DMAC? Like, are those packets from DMAC or is that something that we produce? I guess I didn't know.
Yeah, you're pushing my limits here
Yeah, sorry.
of knowledge. Don't get me wrong.
We have multiple levels of credit recovery. So it could be a unit recovery bounce back type situation. Sometimes we have credit recovery with our online Edgenuity program, so students can do credit recovery that way. We try those first, and if those do not work, then those students are referred to the DMAC consortium, and that's where the packets come into play.
Okay. So like the ones that we give them, like when they're in the building and say, hey, here, you've got 3 hours to complete this, or,
Yes,
you know what I mean?
that's
So
from the consortium.
Okay, so that's something that we pay for then those two
Yes.
as well?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
Because that's kind of like, I guess in the one case, that would have been like in your second case, how we advanced, like the second semester was like all
Sure.
credit recovery.
Yes.
So I mean, that's just them working through packets, kind of advancing there.
We try first to do Edgenuity with our own coursework, and then some students online isn't the best match for them. So then we go to the consortium. So some of the students that were recovering credits were in Edgenuity and some were in the consortium.
Okay. That's something maybe we can, I don't know, maybe look at later, just so we learn more, just because it seems like there's a lot of controversy on some of that as far as how fast kids, I mean, like we had a student that may have all Fs coming up till the last week, and then, you know, I mean, they get credit recovery and then they.
And that
We're
will be a
able to
good
speed through.
conversation for us to have, because DMAC is also changing who can qualify to be in the consortium. So there's going to be changes on their end coming up next year, and then obviously changes on our end and how we use that. So that will be a good board conversation moving forward.
Yeah, it'd be good. I mean, yeah, as far as education, just to learn kind of the whole.
Yep.
Yep. That'd be awesome. Thank you.
So Joellen.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. So you talked about Ingenuity, credit recovery, the DMAC consortium. It sounds like Dr. Halapnik was talking about these parents worked outside of the school district and outside of our normal route of doing things. Do we typically accept credits from sources that might not follow the same curriculum that we do?
In the case of DMAC, we do.
So this was through DMAC then?
We always
have any
evaluate
other
credits
agreements?
coming in, and if they're from an accredited institution,
Right.
9 times out of 10, we will accept them, but we always evaluate those when they come in from a different institution.
Do we have any other schools that we have that sort of arrangement with besides DMAC?
In terms of a post-secondary institution?
In terms of the consortium or any sort of extra help for our students?
No. Some families will do private tutoring or things like that, but a lot of the at-risk services are delivered within school.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Dr. Mettner?
You went to the Metro Superintendent's meeting. What schools does that include?
Just what it sounds like. It's all of the
metro area.
Well, I define metro differently because I don't think Waukees metro, but some people do.
No,
So what's?
They're included.
Okay,
So
so
the-
it would be Waukee, Johnston, Ankeny,
There's,
So you
I
don't-
think there's 32 different
32.
districts.
Okay, so
yeah.
you can't name
So,
them all because there's
yeah,
a lot.
I mean, I
Okay.
can send you that
Yeah.
tomorrow. but
Okay,
yeah,
no, I was just curious. I wanted to know if it was like a small group or a large group.
No,
and
it's,
who all
yeah.
it was. Okay, and are we a member of rural superintendent's group too, since we're some
We are not.
interesting hybrid of rural
No.
and city?
We are not.
Okay. That might be interesting.
There is a rural group out
Yeah.
there. We don't qualify. We're too big.
Oh, okay.
They have criteria.
Yeah.
All right. On to legislative priorities. I think that's back. Yeah, sorry. I could have just jumped right into it. This will be super fast. And we're at that point of the year again where IASB is going to ask us for the 4 priorities from this board. So what I will do either tomorrow or early next week and send you a Google form where you can take your time. Doesn't have to be fast. We'll bring this back in the July meeting. Attached to this agenda are last year's legislative priorities, beliefs. I forget the terminology that they use. And those are there just so you can take a look and see what has been around. But in that form, you can also add your own that may not be on there as well. And I'll tabulate all that and share it with the board. And then we'll bring it back eventually, see what we agree on, and Karen will input it into the IASB form, and we'll go from there. It culminates, remember, in one of you being part of that delegate assembly at the IASB conference in November, where the whole state of Iowa then looks at all of those priorities and they come up with their legislative platform.
So you said there's 4 of those?
We can only
that we
give
can
them
pick?
4 total. So there's an infinite number, whatever you can come up with.
Yeah, there's 10 pages so far. Okay.
All right, on to monthly financials, Mr. Bacon.
We have the May monthly financials at your stations. Real briefly, the general fund revenues are up 4.9% through May. Expenditures are up 3.4% through May. Of the general fund expenditures, the wages and benefits are up 2.7%. So that's pretty much in line with what we feel like it should be. Utility payments, utilities up to 10.3% relative to last year. Big concern next year about diesel costs, gasoline costs. As you can see, as you're driving around, as you're paying at the pump. Spending quite a bit of money too on mechanics and mechanics pay, outside party mechanics to get our buses in line for inspections and such. So that's been a constraint on the budget. All funds, revenues up 7.2%. That's net of the bond proceeds from last year. Expenditures are up 20.4%, mainly relative to the facilities, acquisitions, construction projects going on right now, which you will see. Hopefully you've been able to drive around at some spots and look and see what's happening with the multi-purpose stadium, the new middle school, the softball project, etc. We'll have a member of Mr. Haynes' team up here later to talk about the other summer projects as well. If you don't have any questions at this time, I'm certainly willing to take questions after the fact, because I know you got this a little bit late.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll stay up here for the next one.
Oh, you're okay. I was gonna ask who's next.
I think it's photography, correct?
Yes, photography.
So photography agreement, Mr. Campbell is out today on vacation. Christensen is here with us today. She's part of the photography team evaluating proposals. We'll send that proposal out tomorrow. We'll bring that back. Proposals will be due July 22nd and bring it to the board August 4th. If you recall from last year, we split up the photography agreement into special events and teams. This year, we'd like to combine them back underneath one big header. We also want to do some hype videos. Jeannie might be able to explain those a little bit more, but they are as they sound, hyping up our teams and doing a video montage for that. We'll make the RFP available on our website for any vendor. We do have a list of 6 or 7 different people that we'll be sending it to. And if you have any names you want to forward to us, we will certainly take those and we will forward them the link to the RFP that will be on our website. Any questions relative to the photography agreement? I know in previous years, we've had some discussion about this.
Why are you moving it all under one heading again?
I think we believe that most vendors are capable of doing what we need to do with all events and being at those events, and the technologies out there. It's a little bit easier to manage as well from the activity side.
And I think last year we changed it because we had the person that was contracted the year before only wanted to do the activity. And then there was another person that wanted to do the other one. So it worked out just to split it.
So if that happens again this year, would we split it out if that's the best choice, or are we just looking for somebody who can do both?
Right now, we'll send it out as one. If we do come up with that challenge, we will certainly bring that to your attention. We'll consider that, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Did it work this way, splitting it? I mean, did we have a lot of issues or any issues or?
I can't speak to that particularly. Mr. Campbell would have to do that, but I haven't heard any major concerns
I didn't
about
hear any
that.
complaints.
You heard some things?
No, I
Okay,
did not.
Sorry.
I hadn't, I mean, I haven't heard anything either on how it works, so.
On the hype video, I know we have hype videos now. Is that just individually by each sport or booster club contracts that separately or?
I think they do their own thing.
So
I
we
think they
do have hype videos for our teams. You know, like the first game of the season is hype videos for those sorts of things, but I'm not exactly sure where Mr. Campbell is going with this. I just know that we want to put this all as a required element within our structure of the agreements.
So would that give every team access to that or?
I believe the major varsity sports is what was being asked to do.
Okay.
You want a hype video for the board? Is that what you're?
Well.
Jeannie can make that happen.
I mean, she already started with the.
Yep,
meeting.
Jeannie can do it. So we've got our hype.
Yeah.
Right, Jeannie? Yeah, see?
So that will come to the board on August 4th for your approval after the committee meets and ponders the proposals to come back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to start the next item as well.
All right.
It's just
The next item, I believe, is summer capital projects. We have Neil Paddock here. He's our lead maintenance staff member. Fresh face here, going over through some of the summer projects that we did hit up last time.
Yeah, I'm Neil Paddock, class of 1985, Lori.
The cool
Go
one.
Rams.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been an employee for 28 years consecutively, plus another 4 years part-time when I went to college. So I've been here a long time. Way too long. No. So we did have the auction a couple weeks ago, and the gross take from that was $29,104. Just about everything sold, even stuff we didn't think would sell. Vehicles got around 3,000-ish, and one of the mowers got 5,700. We were kind of surprised and excited about that. Some of the projects are ongoing. The only ones completed so far, the roof project over at the high school over the pool was completed just this week. So thankful for that. We have carpet being put in over at 4 Mile, and they expect to perhaps be done tomorrow or maybe next week on that. Altoona Elementary, we have a garage repair starting Monday. Going to replace the roof and some fascia over there. And there's going to be some walk-off carpet squares put in the hallways down by the media center there. That hasn't started yet. Centennial is going to have a new grease interceptor. Pretty expensive project, but the grease traps have been a mess over there for a while. So that's going to begin the first or second week of July. The aircon's going to do that for us. We got some painting probably starting up at 4 Mile as well, along with the carpet replacement. We have some cement and paving work that's being done. Most of that is going to happen in the month of July, and they expect to be done with most of it in July. Junior high in front of Old District Office, Spring Creek. They're going to do several portions of that. Paving the Runnels parking lot, repairing that. That's supposed to begin July 5th. We got cement work going on at the high school, Willowbrook, Altoona. And let's see here, over at Willowbrook, we have some HVAC repairs. We have a rooftop unit that has a bad compressor and VFD, kind of a costly replacement, but they're going to be getting going on that soon. The parts should be showing up maybe even next week on that. And also at Willowbrook, some carpet and bathroom repairs. There's a lot of tile issues in the bathrooms over there that have been a big problem for years. So I look forward to getting that fixed, and a couple outside doors that are getting replaced over there too. I think that covers about most of the things that are going on this summer.
HVAC, will that be done before schools?
Yes.
Most of those projects will be done before school
Yes,
starts?
yes. All of these are expected to be done before school starts. So, yep.
Okay. Very good.
Neil, do you know, how are you guys doing with summer help? No?
Not as much summer help as normal. I've heard from a lot of people that they're like, I can work other places for more money, as you guys have probably heard before. I personally have heard 3 or 4 people tell me, I'm not working this summer, just not enough money. So we're getting by, but it is slim pickings in some of the buildings for summer help.
Okay. Yeah, I was worried about that with the whole, like the 12, and I know they were having trouble with the county too, because I mean, they're kind of the same thing. Our wages are a little bit lagging as far as, but you think we have enough people to kind of to muddle through the summer?
We'll get by, you know, everything won't be done as well as it could be with more help, you know, maybe not totally stripping down floors before waxing them, just putting fresh coats of wax and going through things a little quicker, but and we don't have any painters this summer hired by the district. Normally we have a crew that goes around and does that. So we have a couple outside companies that are helping some with that. So.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, and you was Lori on the board when you were in school?
Ouch.
Is that 80? Oh, no, you went to school with her?
Yes, yes.
I just wanted to clarify that.
That's brutal.
Sorry, Lori.
It's okay. I deserve it.
All right, well, that is the motion. Thank you.
Second.